Buddy, good evening. It's late. It's like 7:30 almost. Oh, it's 7:21 to be exact. I'm not going to be here long. I've got a couple things I got to finish and I still got to eat dinner. I really have like a lot of beautiful learnings happening today. Let me see if I can invite. Oh no, I wanted to share this audio or this video with someone. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Still growing into. Let's see. I can't. How do I share? Um, Anyways, let's skip that. Yeah, we'll come back to it. I'll just send a video to him afterwards. Or you know what? Yeah, so here's what I want to touch on. I want to touch on this really, really, really important topic. First of all, I want to congratulate you for making your life your own. And what I mean by that is I want to congratulate you for choosing to honor yourself and go towards your goals and your dreams. And if you are not necessarily doing that, I also want to bring it to your attention that you can do that and the choice is yours. And so that's where I want to pivot into the discussion of fear disguised as risk aversion. Fear disguised as risk aversion. This is important because I want you to be mindful of who you share things with. I want you to know your boundaries. And when you share things with people, take action in your life and move beyond your fears. And do that even when it means moving on from people, jobs, relationships, and even your family. And I want to give you some really quick yet actionable knowledge and insight on how to do this. I have personally not had much contact with around 99% of my family for a long time. So I can tell you that letting people go is something that never gets easy. What I can tell you though is you could go inside when you make those reintroductions to them, when you create connections with them, and you can ask yourself, do you feel like you're on, like your boundaries matter? Do you feel like you matter? Do you feel like they honor you and your words and they care about your perspective? And if they shut you down and they are not willing to hear what you say and they have the floor to say anything and everything they want, including hurtful things, and you are clear enough in your own value, then be really clear that you're going to let them go. And so I say this because it's really important. And if we don't know this stuff, we can't honor ourselves. And this is not only family. And I say the family thing first because I also want to show how people who, like me, who've grown up in an environment where maybe family didn't show you enough respect, because like there's a certain thing of like letting somebody express themselves and then respect when someone expresses themselves, and that can actually allow us to, or not allow, it can actually create situations where we allow other people to mistreat us because we think that not only is this our self-worth, but even worse, we actually think that this is an acceptable behavior. And so the only way that you'll know it's not an acceptable behavior is until you find behavior that you can see that's being modeled by somebody who's healthy. And so I'll give you an example of this in the context here of be mindful of who you share things with. Know your boundaries when sharing things with people. I have had friends, family members, and contact with people that I was open to do business with. And every time I had a good idea that I decided I was going to share with a few select people. They always had some very destructive things to say about it. I'm not talking about, well, show me the spreadsheet. Where are the numbers at? How does this look? Where's our break even? Is there any value in doing this even if we didn't make any profit? I'm not talking about looking at like the real structure of the deal, so to speak. I'm talking about people have said things like, oh, I see your balloon's flying real high today. Why don't you let me pop it and bring it down to reality, or different things like that. And that's an extreme example, but this person had gotten so comfortable with saying some really derogatory things to not only me. This wasn't personal to me by no means. The more clear we get with who we are in our own value is the less offended we become by other people who have yet to learn to value themselves and don't value the people in their lives. So that's something that you can actually apply. Is you can, and I was talking about this with a friend from church today, where basically like my experience in a certain situation was because of the way I perceived that to be happening and how I experienced that as it was happening for me. Now, that doesn't mean that there is not the reality of so much of that still being accurate when you remove yourself from the situation. Now, I was really vague with what I said, and so I'll be clear with it. How I experienced the state that I grew up in, which was Minnesota, was to be very prejudiced. I experienced that state to not be a place where I could really grow and express and be myself. Now, that is not entirely true. That is my perception of that state. Now, that's because of where I was at when I was there. If you're following me, okay? Now that I see it that way, I can also look at the reality, though, of even taking myself out of it, how much of my experience is still valid today, even something that other people can see, even something that other people have the awareness to say, wow, even from my perception and my understanding, it looks this way. So in reality, it really is real that Minnesota is a very prejudiced and segregated place. And it still is. And I'm not bringing it up because it was on the news in the past. I'm bringing it up because nobody knows how horrific it feels to be followed because of your skin color from one side of town to the other. That's like 7-8 miles, and the chances of committing a minor traffic infraction by even just skirting past the lane by just a fraction is very possible. And so the real point, though, that I'm making is that we have to look at things both from what we're contributing to them as well as like how they are grounded in reality to other people's perspectives. And so that's why I want you to really, really consider, is something we're not doing in our life fear disguised as risk aversion? Like, I personally wanted to get out of Minnesota and never go back because the fear of leaving was inexistent. It was the fear of staying. And it wasn't the fear of staying because I was afraid to challenge myself. It was literally like I didn't know if I would live through those experiences. And so I say these things because at some point, I want you to get really, really, really clear with what you truly believe in and what you stand for. And the more that you stand for having a willingness to be wrong, the more you stand for having a willingness to have some haters, the more you stand for a willingness to be vulnerable and be okay with it is the more impact you'll be able to make in your own life, in the family you want to create, and frankly, the more money you'll make. And not necessarily just from making money, more so from the standpoint of making money and showing other people the application of the mindset to do it. There are a plethora, an endless supply of people that know how to make money, and they're not creative. They know how to make money, and they're so risk adverse that they're not in good, healthy relationships. They know how to make money, but they're so risk adverse that they won't teach somebody what they know because they have a fear of being wrong. They are so hung up on using risk aversion as their reason for not doing. I've been there. I said, well, if I did this and that went wrong and this, and you know what? Like, let's be honest. What if it went right? What if it went right? What are all the things that could go right? And then let's get beyond that. We got to stop comparing ourselves to other people. Half the reason why people are not doing anything is because somebody else's opinion. Like, how many people, like myself, I have had like 10 lifetimes worth of learnings in a quarter chunk of a life. I could have, let's not get into the could haves. I am right where I'm supposed to be. And I personally know that I could have done these videos, 10 years ago, and I didn't. So I want to encourage you. I want to leave you so empowered to go out and do something beyond what you think is possible. I want you to close your eyes and think, what if everything could go right? Yeah, there's going to be some bumps in the road. Yeah, there's going to be some hiccups. There's some hangups. There's some challenges. And with all those things in mind, whatever actually comes of it, what if it went absolutely amazing? What if it went right? Not like I was right, more like it was fine. And so anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Like I'm super, super stoked on the things I am blessed to come into contact with. And putting people on pedestals because of things they've done or things they've created does not do us any good. Does not do us any good. I personally have done it. I personally have put people on a pedestal because I thought that they had created something that made them special and magical. And let me be honest with you. It's the worst thing I ever did. Outside of a lot of other things. But anyways, listen, I'm going to get going. I absolutely thank you for watching these videos. And I really want to, reinforce that you can do anything you really want to do. Like, you really can. If I am alive right now, broadcasting live from my office in Newport Beach, California, you could do anything in the world. And I'm telling you, I have seen things in fear, in death, in physical pain, physical challenge that it's like, can I make it through this? And I'm telling you, you can. I believe in you. I know you can do it. Go after what you want.